Share a dream together around the world, with a voice from every country, a face from every land. We'll celebrate the future hand in hand. We'll celebrate the future hand in hand.
The future is coming. We gotta catch it if we can. The magic's unfolding, and you can hold it in your hand. We can touch tomorrow today to make some memories that'll never fade away.
Put your hand on the future. Share a dream together around the world,
with a voice from every country and a face from every land.
we'll celebrate the future hand in hand. Join the celebration. It's an invitation. Feel the inspiration. A dream we all share. From the very start of it, you can be a part of it. At the very heart of it, everyone from everywhere. Put your hand on the future. Share a dream together around the world, with a voice from every country and a face from every land. We'll celebrate the future hand in hand. We'll celebrate the future hand in hand. We'll celebrate the future hand in
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting. We call it ImagineEars.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the ImagineEars Disney podcast. I am your host, Matt, and I am joined, as always, by my good friend and co-host, Susie. Hi, Susie.
Hi, Matt.
I feel like you are standing at your stand desk.
I am standing at my stand. See,
So fancy.
move all around.
So
Yeah.
fancy.
I am fancy. When I started my job, my full-time job, a little over a year ago, it became clear that I needed a standing desk since I work from home 4 days a week. So watch this. Watch. can go down.
Wow.
It can go up. I know. Okay,
The
now I don't
magic
like.
of technology.
Yeah. What will
Yeah.
they come up with next?
Who knows?
Who knows? Hey, Copper.
Well, I hope you all are having a great start to your week. Happy Tuesday to you all. It is good to see you all chiming in. So, Swansea, Angela, all you guys, Alex. Alex is talking about his upcoming trip in June. His Magic Band has arrived in the mail. Muppet Vision 3D theme.
Nice.
So
Okay.
very good, very good. When is your next trip, Susie?
June 10th.
June 10th.
Unless
Unless
we are able to get into a pass holder preview for Guardians of the Galaxy. So
right.
hopefully, but before June, so that we can go ride that together and do a video for everybody on it.
Yeah, so they had the D23 release today for their special event for Guardians. Did not go well. Most everyone that I talked to, they were in the queue and then they were gone. So I didn't actually talk to anyone who actually got one.
There's so many better ways Disney can do everything when it comes to things like this, some kind of like queue or whatever. Like I remember a couple years ago when we were trying to get Taylor Swift tickets, in the weeks leading up to tickets opening, there were things you could do on her website, like ordering the album, watching the music video, sharing links on social media, and like everything you would do, it would like move you up ahead of time in the queue. So like there'd be like you earned points. I just feel like Disney just like opening the gates and making these things always a free for all is just is always a disaster.
Well, hopefully I'll see the email come in relatively short order when it does, and I'll be able to snag a preview for it. So I just renewed my pass, my Disney annual pass. I was grandfathered in on the old system, the Platinum.
Yeah.
I did not get the Increda pass.
You did Sorcerer.
I did the Sorcerer pass.
That's what I have. You know, when I go in June, that'll be the first time I've gone during the summer in like 10 years.
Yes, because you were on Silver.
Mm-hmm. We had the Silver annual pass and we're blacked out the whole summer, which is fine because it's 1,000 degrees and there's 4 million people in the parks. So it'll be interesting to go back during peak season.
Hey, but now we could do 4th of July if we wanted to. That would be kind of fun.
Okay. Sure.
You would love the 4th of July show.
I'm sure I would, but it's
made for you.
It's going to be so crowded, and park passes, I guess there's still park passes. Who knows?
Susie, let's do this. Let's draw the line in the sand right now. We're going to go to Magic Kingdom. We're going to do all the 4th of July things. We're going to go to Hall of Presidents. What's another American thing we could do?
Tom Sawyer Island.
Country Bear Jamboree. You could take a photo in the stocks. So, I don't know. And then, of course,
okay. I'll think about it.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
I want to go. It's just like, it's gonna be crazy.
It wasn't that bad. So I've done 4th of July a couple times. The last time we did it, it wasn't too bad. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And now that they're capping it, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it won't be so bad. What is going on?
I don't know. Hold on.
Are you, okay. Guess I'm just gonna keep going. All right. Well, we have a couple of news stories for you this week. This one came in late today. Some sad news. We had a passing. Mr. Gilbert Gottfried, voice of Iago from the Aladdin movie. passed away at the age of 67 after a long illness. Wasn't too many more details other than that, but sad to hear of his passing today. You know, when you think about it, Aladdin had two kind of comedy legends
Hmm.
with Robin Williams and then, of course, Gilbert, two very big icons in the comedy world, all in the same movie. I actually watched a video with Gilbert talking about his experience playing Iago, and he actually never was in the studio at the same time with Robin. So I
Huh.
thought that was interesting.
That is interesting. Sorry, I could have sworn I heard my back door opening. I don't. It was just Copper like doing something. Sorry, I had to like peace out for a second, but I thought I was about to get murdered
But that would be
live
bad.
on the podcast.
That would be bad. That would have not been good. So
Anyhow,
anyway, so Gilbert passed away, and then another news story came out today. Of course, the Main Street Electrical Parade is coming back to Disneyland, and in honor of that parade coming back to Disneyland, they are releasing some special edition merchandise, including the spinning turtle sipper. Very cool, very cool. And my personal favorite, the Elliott popcorn bucket. You thought that Figment was going to be popular. You just wait for the line for this.
hopefully they learned their lesson and they just immediately start off with a virtual queue,
That would probably be smart, yes. Yeah.
which means they won't do it
So,
because it's a good idea.
so if any of my Disneyland fans, friends out there, if you guys are going to the parks and you wouldn't mind picking up an extra one, I will gladly pay for it and shipping to get it over here so it can then sit on my shelf just like everything else. So.
Yeah, you're gonna have to start clearing out some room here. Who
Have to
needs
get a
all those?
bigger room?
Who needs books when you've got popcorn buckets?
Buckets. No, it don't need books. Just clear out some space. Okay, and then lastly, we've got our first look. Of course, we know that we talked about it at the beginning of the show. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is coming May 27th. They're going to be doing previews and everything. Here coming soon for pass holders, D23 members, cast members. So they also released photos of the cast member costume for the attraction. So we're getting our first look at those. They are something.
Yay.
They kind of look like hospital scrubs for the Tesla hospital.
I just feel like they didn't have as much fun with this as they could have.
Right. So looking at the
Tesla.
actual source material here, or at least the visual source material for the Xandarians, I mean, there was a lot of possibilities that they could have gone in. I feel like they were trying to go with this, especially when you look at John C. Reilly's costume.
Yeah.
On the shoulder, you have like the pleated stuff, and you can clearly see that on the shoulders there.
Yeah, but the
not so
pleating
much on
on
the
the
front.
chest, yeah,
Yes.
that's kind of missing.
So they
And
kind of
that's why
skip
it goes
on that a little bit.
scrubby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's okay.
who knows? Maybe they'll have different ones. I don't know. Swansea said, I was thinking poor Tesla ninjas. So
They kind of do look like ninjas the
on
way
Chloe
it-
said the hat looks like Perry the Platypus.
Perry.
So
It is a very bright blue.
So I am still very excited for the ride. I think it's going to
Oh,
be a
yeah.
great addition to Epcot. The more that I hear about it, it sounds like it's going to be more of a family-friendly coaster. So this isn't going to be like Velocicoaster or anything like that, where Susie would literally keel over in the middle of the ride. I think this will be fun. So Height requirement is actually pretty low too. I think
Is
it's
it 40?
either, huh?
40?
No, I think it's 42. I think it's
Okay.
42 inches, which is um, interesting. So it's lower than some of the other rides. I think Rock and Roller Coaster is like 46. So yeah, I think the type of ride system they're using, it's going to be more conducive for different types of heights and weights. So I think it's going to lend itself to be more um, friendly for a lot of people. So that's good. So speaking of Epcot, though, last
Yeah,
week we
we are.
hope you enjoyed our talk about Magic Kingdom. We're going in chronological order here.
Yeah.
So we are going to be talking about Epcot this week. So the magic of Disney, what makes Disney special, and specifically, what makes Epcot special this week? So Susie, we're kick it off with you as always. Start talking to me about
Someone found a stuck piece of food behind something. I've got to keep
okay.
barking.
So
So
I
I'm
will
just
start
gonna kick it off.
first. Oh my. Okay. What do I love about Epcot? You know, some of my earliest Disney memories are actually from Epcot. So I remember, of course, I'm a big Figment fan. So Figment is one of my first memories. Um, I think that it's interesting because um, kind of classic Epcot is going away, but not all of it's going away. Currently, I mean, we still have Journey of the Imagination with Figment. Then you had some of the original characters like Buzzy, um, or the Kitchen Cabaret animatronics. So I have always enjoyed Epcot for kind of the newness, like bringing new ideas to the table. American Adventure, I think with its ride system, if you go actually look at how the American Adventure actually functions, it's it's amazing. It is absolutely incredible. So I think for me, one of the big things is the intervention of what Epcot brings to the Disney parks. Um, you know, Walt's. A lot of people get very defensive with Epcot, and especially with changes in that you know, this isn't this new Epcot isn't what Walt would have wanted, blah 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 blah. Welcome back, Susie. Um,
That was my fault. I spilled some of his food earlier when I was feeding
can
him
you move
dinner.
your mic a little closer to you, please, so we can
Yes.
hear you loud and clear?
Yeah, sorry. I dropped some of Copper's food behind one of my bookshelves earlier, and he smelled it out, so I had to move it and
Yeah.
clean it up. You know.
Can you speak a little louder, please?
No, I can't, Matthew.
There you go. Thank you. Finally, talking
Uh,
so soft.
So you're
So-
talking about Epcot purists?
Yes, a little bit of the Epcot purists. Like I'm kind of harping on them for a minute. And I'm not trying to be mean or insensitive to people's feelings, but again, we've talked about it before. The parks aren't museums, and I think one of the and it's almost the same problem that you have with Tomorrowland and Magic Kingdom. For the original idea of what Epcot became, the original idea of what Epcot was going to be is completely like we never saw it. Like
Yeah.
it was an actual community.
Yeah.
So that is what Walt envisioned. So we never actually got Walt's vision for
No,
Epcot.
And anyone who gets all like worked up about it, I mean, what are you gonna, because we have a Gardens of the Galaxy roller coaster, it's not what Walt envisioned. You're right, from day one of actual park planning, it wasn't exactly what the Epcot and Florida project and everything was supposed to be in theory.
Right.
but it's taking that spirit and implementing it into a theme park format.
Yeah. So, I mean, we and again, kind of going back to the original point of looking at like Tomorrowland. So stuff like that just dates very, very quickly. By the
Yeah.
time it's implemented, and by the time a lot of the stuff for Epcot was displayed to the public, it was on kind of the back end of. I mean, it was still fairly current, and a lot of it was ahead of its time, like touchscreen. So there was
Yeah.
a time where you could go in and touchscreen, and you could actually video conference with a cast member to make dining reservations. So I mean, they were doing some cool stuff, but eventually, and most of the time, very quickly, a lot of that stuff became dated, and it's hard to
Mhm.
replace that on a continual basis. So I will always appreciate what Epcot brought to the table for Interventions and Horizons, which is one of my favorite rides ever. Um, Obviously, Journey to Imagination. Um, but I am excited about the new things. And again, I think it's the continual evolution of technology and ride capability. I think Soarin' over California, now Soarin' over the world, that
Mhm.
ride system is one of a kind. And I think that is a testament to the capabilities of Imagineering. Um, we got Ratatouille, and then now Guardians coming
Yeah.
online. So I am excited to see what they bring. Yes, it's going to be different than we are getting away from the edutainment side of things for Epcot, um, but Disney has to make what's appealing to upcoming generations of guests.
Yeah, and Epcot's still not done with all the changes. There will be still an element of that. I feel like even the Moana water thing will have some kind of level of education with it
Sure.
about conservation or whatever. But no, it's not it's not like you know, a school science trip anymore.
It's
Epcot's
on
not.
right, and you still have those elements there, like living with the land and the seas. So
Mhm.
I think it's specifically those two elements. Those aren't going away anytime soon.
No.
I don't anticipate those things leaving. I think they're there for quite a bit, but um, so I think it's a nice mix of you know
Holding
technology
it,
and
yeah.
actual implementation of things that can help our everyday lives.
Yeah. I have to go check something. So if I will give my Epcot, I know it's a long story tonight. I'm going to give my Epcot spiel when I get back, but do you want to transition and talk about how much you love the food at Epcot? Because that
Sure,
makes you happy.
sure. Okay. Yes, that was going to be my second point. I think more than any other park at Disney, um, Epcot is the place to go for food options. Uh, Literally, there is something for everyone. So we're about to get I believe it's going to be called the Creations Cafe. Don't quote me on that, but the replacement for Electric Umbrella. Um, this is going to be your burgers and your pizzas, salads, stuff like that. Um, I I think they're going to elevate the menu hopefully a little bit. Electric Umbrella was not my favorite place to eat, but I hope that with this new place, it is going to offer some of those similar options, but better. Sunshine Seasons, I think, is a great spot as well. If you're looking for a quick service, I think it is one of the best quick services in Disney World. Probably my second or third. It's in my top 5 for sure. But as far as table service goes, like the sky is the limit. You want
Unmatched.
Mexican? You
Yeah.
want Mexican? There are like 2 restaurants, 2 table service restaurants. French, you have technically 3 now. You have 3 restaurants
Great Brie.
that are table service. So one of them isn't back open. The best one isn't back open yet. Monsieur Paul, which is one of the best restaurants anywhere in Orlando. Chef de France, and then of course the Creperie, which just opened with Ratatouille. My favorite restaurant in World Showcase and in Walt Disney World probably is Takumite in Japan, also not open. But and I guess we'll talk about. I'm gonna kind of tie this in with the food, and especially with World Showcase. One of the things I love about World Showcase are the cultural representatives
Oh my gosh.
from all the
yes.
countries.
Yeah.
It has been sad to see them gone during the pandemic, and totally understandable. Like countries were closed off, people went back home, but a lot of those countries are coming back, and the cultural representative program in Epcot is returning this summer. I think later this summer. So we're going to start seeing an influx of those cast members come back, and the countries themselves in World Showcase, visiting those are great. But when you actually add the cast members from those countries and interacting with them and having them at the restaurants, going to Takumite is an experience in itself, but it is authentic Japanese cuisine. And we've talked about it. We've talked about it a couple times, just some of the elements that you have in there, but like there's a traditional tea ceremony, and that could really only be done by people from that country who can explain it and the proper way to do things. And it's so different than pretty much anything that I've ever experienced at a dining location at Disney World. Disney gets a bad rap sometimes for food. A lot of people think it's just chicken tenders and hamburgers and hot dogs and French fries.
And you can find that if you really want it.
I mean, those are there, but there is so much more to offer. So,
Right.
So I've waxed eloquent on a couple of things. So
My turn.
your turn, Susie. What do you love about Epcot?
Oh, well, I love so many things about Epcot. I was thinking this afternoon, kind of what's my, the thing with Epcot. And honestly, I think out of all 4 parks, including Animal Kingdom, I think at Epcot, I actually have a most different experience every time I go, because there's so many options, whether it's trying something new food wise or the way that they have festivals set up now, where basically every week of the year is a festival. So there is something to do at the festival, activities, concerts, merchandise to look at. And of course, with all the construction going on, I just feel like Epcot, I always have a more unique experience. No 2 Epcot visits are ever the same. Even if, you just ride the same rides, there's still, you get different food, or it's a festival. So you go to a different vendor for something, or you get to paint with the paint by number during Festival of the Arts, or you get to see a performer during Festival of the Holidays that you hadn't seen before. So for me, that's where the spirit of Epcot comes into play. Like we alluded to it earlier, obviously it's not an actual community where people live, but that idea of something new and innovative, even if it's not like groundbreaking technology, it's still like a different experience every time. That's what I love about Epcot. And I didn't appreciate it when I was little. And I think that's a big thing that Disney has heard, and they've taken that feedback over the years, and they've added different things. Some of them are swings and misses, but Mission Space, but that's okay.
Mission Space is like the one attraction where I would be perfectly fine never riding it ever again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get sick on it. I just like, I
Why?
don't,
It's just why. But the cultural experiences in World Showcase, the fun you can have when you're doing the different interactive things and learning different stuff about okay, so there are animals at Epcot. So you get to see the dolphin, do this time. There's just something about Epcot that makes you like want to, I don't know, do it again. To me, I never, when I go to Epcot, I sometimes feel like a little overwhelmed because like, I want to eat everything like at a festival. And it's like, okay, that's like actually going to be more expensive than a table service option for dining. And you will get sick and throw up if you eat that much food, Susie, but I want to do it anyway, because there's so many different things to experience. So that's something I love about Epcot. And it's definitely taken years to get to the point where like you get it, which is sad because Epcot is great. So I get the addition of IPs and characters that people are familiar with to kind of bring in a wider audience for Epcot. And then, yeah, just the food. My favorite country in Epcot for food is Morocco. I think it's the most vegetarian friendly of the countries. There's an option at every dining option now for vegan and vegetarian, but just in general, the style of food, I love the food in Morocco. That's my favorite food. You talked about Sunshine Seasons. I miss when that was a regular. I don't like the COVID change with these kinds of restaurants, but that's okay. We'll get back to normal at some point, but I loved Sunshine Seasons and finding a little back corner booth with my family, and you just kind of sit there in the air conditioning for a while, big open atrium, relaxing, and then we go and ride Living with the Land. And and my dad would go and do the behind the scenes tour. He did it 3 times because he had Epcot inspired was one of the things that partly inspired him. He had hydroponics and the NFT systems, like some of the plants in Epcot. So that's like a real, world example of that kind of stuff coming from the parks. But I just love Epcot. I don't know. It's much more, I don't want to say like adult, but it's more cultured maybe. And that's not just because of like World Showcase, but partly because of World Showcase. But that's just the intention of Epcot, I think, is to be the more like cultured of the Disney parks.
Yeah. Very good. Well, what else? I've given a couple of things.
What else? Epcot has had some great entertainment. I know you were a pretty big fan of this little nighttime show. I don't know if you guys out there have heard of it, called Illuminations.
Yes.
Which tried to come back from the dead recently.
Yes.
Make an appearance during Harmonious. There was a little fire.
There might have been a small fire last night during Harmonious. So I think what happened, I can't tell for sure, but it looked like, and so they had these for Illuminations too. So like the launching flares that go out towards the end of the show. I think one of those caught on fire. So there was a large flame that was present there for a little bit. So it's okay. Accidents happen. No one was harmed.
Yeah, but Harmonious is spectacular. I think that's a nice culmination of a lot of different technologies too over time coming together for a great nighttime show. And all the projection, we talked about this extensively too, onto Spaceship Earth is genuinely the best thing that has come out of the 50th anniversary celebration over the last like 6 or 8 months at this point. It's been Spaceship Earth. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. I think so far that's been the highlight of the 50th for me.
What of the Epcot? I mean, I guess the answer is Guardians. Is that what you're looking forward to most with all of the different expansions and changes and everything that they're doing, or they said they would do? See how much of that still comes true.
Yeah. Yes, I am looking forward to it, but so don't laugh at me when I say this. I do enjoy a good statue. I am looking forward to Dreamer's Point,
Okay.
the new Walt and Mickey
Yeah.
statue for this park. So I think that's going to be fun to see. I loved the concept art for the festival center, and I
did
hope it's not
too.
completely gone. It's definitely on the back burner for now. But yeah, there were a lot of things coming to Epcot. Obviously, Guardians, but Mary Poppins. Are those completely done? I don't know. We'll see. I think we'll have a new pavilion or two in the future. Who knows? D23 does take place later this summer. I'm sure we'll get some new project information on things. So I think maybe not as much for Epcot, but I think potentially some Animal Kingdom stuff. But that's for speculation for another day. But I think the last thing for me because I think we've kind of hit on the big things of why we love Epcot. I do believe it has become more friendly for everyone in the family, because I think you did talk about it. You know, growing up, except for nerds like us, there were like we enjoyed some of the nerdy things, but that doesn't appeal to a very broad audience. So I think adding things like Guardians and the Beauty and the Beast sing along, even though I don't like it, but
oh gosh,
that can appeal to a certain demographic. Frozen, hopefully some stuff in the near future with Coco, and of course Harmonious. You have expanded across generations to really appeal to different people. So I think that is important. But I think the one of my favorite things, and this will be the last thing that I talk about for Epcot, is, man, this park is photogenic.
Oh gosh, it's stunning.
If you love to take photos, there are, again, I think more than any other park, there are more opportunities to take some spectacular photos.
Yeah.
Flower and Garden is obviously a big opportunity for this. All the flower beds, all the topiaries, but even aside from the festival itself, you have, your icons like Spaceship Earth and the Imagination Pavilion. And then a lot of the World Showcase Lagoon locations as well. The Torii Gate in Japan, Germany, Italy, Norway, Mexico, like all of these places have what we call weenies. The structures that draw your attention to them and really take over that space and really make it what it is. Those are great. I think if you love to photograph that, you have the monorail coming through the park. There are just ample opportunities to take some really, really nice photos. And sometimes I just enjoy going through Twitter or Instagram, and following some good Disney accounts, photo accounts that really do a great job, and just enjoying the different perspectives that people bring from this park, from Epcot. So
I think the last thing I'll say about Epcot is I like everyone has a different kind of version or idea of like what Epcot kind of is. Everyone loves it for some kind of different reason. All the foodies, the photography, the nerds. There's still a little bit of that like technology aspect to it, with and especially anyone who's like a big Disney history buff. You've got a very like nature enthusiasts and wine enthusiasts and people who just love a good ride, because there are great attractions in Epcot. Of course, again, more coming. But Epcot has grown and evolved more so than the other three parks that all had a very clear identity from the beginning. And whether Disney wanted that to happen or not, I think that's the most Epcot thing that could possibly happen, is Epcot growing and evolving the most out of the four parks, because everything has to change. Our, society changes, technology changes, cultures change, everything. And Epcot in its own way kind of goes along with that and what we expect in a park like that. So that's something I love about Epcot. And I missed the Future World track loop. Is that music we were talking recently? I was on Main Street Electrical Pod, which you guys who listen to us know that they've been on our show, and vice versa. But dang, that music, Epcot music, is so good.
Epcot music is so good.
And then the new stuff is good too, but it's just not the same. But I can just hear, I said this last night, like when I can hear it and like my whole body reacts like I'm in Epcot, like I'm walking with my family, sweating, smelling like suntan lotion, finishing up, a snack on our way to Ride Living with the Land for like the third time that day, because my dad wanted to see how they did something with the cucumbers or whatever. All those memories come back, and I just love Epcot for that.
Yep. Man, what a great park.
It is a great park.
And the future is bright, I think. So Epcot is celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. So it's another plan we need to make. We need to October 1st. I don't know. You want to be down there?
Sure. It can't be less anticlimactic than the 50th for Magic Kingdom.
Sick burn, Susie. Sick burn.
I just speak the truth. Oh, it's a Saturday. Yeah, that can work out.
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
Well, what do you love about Epcot? So leave us a comment in the comment section of the video on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. And let us know on the podcast as well. So if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, you can find us by searching for the Imagineers Disney podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you like to do that. You can find it by searching for the Imagineers Disney podcast. We are also on social media as well. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just search for the Imagineers Disney podcast on those platforms and you'll find us. And that is also home to our link tree. The link tree also has our link to our Discord channel, where we will comment throughout the week on Disney news, post some memes every once in a while. But specifically our Friday night movies. We actually won't be here this Friday for because of the holiday, but we'll be back the week after that. And a special shout out to our very special
What?
very special shout out to our very special people, and that is our patrons. So I can't pull up any
special.
I can't pull up any of my graphics because the website here, Restream, is crashing on me, but I think we're still live. But I guess we'll find out. Anyway, thank you to our patrons. If you would like to become a patron of the show and support us on a monthly basis, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Imagineers. And for as little as $2 a month, you can have access to exclusive content. That's videos, and also we have a monthly drawing for a prize. Need to get this month's when I'm down at Disney World later this month. So we'll have that at the end of the month. And then for the very first time ever, in 2 weeks from tonight, April 26th, we will have our inaugural first ever trivia night for our patrons. So one patron whoever wins the trivia that night will get a $25 gift card. So if you want to join in our Patreon, this is a good time to join for sure. We really do try to put out some exclusive, unique content for you guys that want to support the podcast. So we have a blast, and honestly, we couldn't do it without you. So thank you, as always, for the support. And we look forward to coming at you next week with another show. And until then, friends, remember, if you can dream it, you can do it. Bye-bye.